Testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
对，我好像已经可以了。反正第一段是后面大概也都知道20分钟吧，太多了。可能第一段哦，那中间那段长。
他跟你今天内容的这个怎么交织，怎么重复，你想一下。
对，先要跟他们就是check。
Hello? Hello, can anybody hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing, testing. Can anybody hear me? Okay, good. Good morning, everybody. Good evening. Good noon. Good afternoon. Good morning. We're having a worldwide audience today, so I would like to thank those who are staying up late in Asia or in Europe. And here we are in LA, California. We have 4 minutes to 8. Let me try one thing to see if it works. I have pre-recorded introduction. I just do a little test, see if it will broadcast fine. Happy holidays! The new year of 2019 is approaching, the year of the pig. Today we're going to learn how to paint pigs in Chinese brush painting. I'm Henry Lee. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Despite of the pig being one of the 12 zodiac animals, it is very rare. It seems working. Subject matter in Chinese brush painting books. The test is through. We have to wait 2 minutes to officially start. Let me see if my Facebook friends are on. Good morning, Grady. Good morning, Ritu. Haha, you're live from India. Okay, We're going to start now. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm Henry Lee at California. Welcome to my online class, Chinese brush painting lesson 56. I've been doing this series of Chinese zodiac for I don't know how many years, maybe 10, maybe I didn't count, but this is very special for me personally because the next year, 2019, will be my 60th birth year. So in a life cycle, you can only have one 60-year anniversary because we cannot live more than 120 years. So when you have a 60 anniversary, the we call it 甲子 or the branch, the stem and the branch term repeats. So the next cycle I kind of relive it. So in Chinese. We call it the rebirth, kind of like you can carve. I will carve a seal, a mood seal to mark the event. Maybe later, following my teacher's practice, I will call my 60s the youth, 60th youth. Then next decade or next 10 years. In my 70s, my teacher would carve another seal as 70s children. And when you reach 80s, you can carve a seal like 80 顽童, means playboy or not playboy, baby of the 80s. So you live younger and younger, right? After this. With that being said, I will start an introduction, which I pre-recorded last night. Thank Victoria for her help, just in case we don't have a good connection today. So I can just play back some pre-recorded videos. So clip 1 will be an introduction. Let me get started.
Happy holidays! The new year of 2019 is approaching, the year of the pig. Today we're going to learn how to paint pigs in Chinese brush painting. I'm Henry Lee. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Despite of the pig being one of the 12 zodiac animals, it is very rare subject matter in Chinese brush painting books. I have searched on Google and found very few references, and also in my collection of books. So we're going to basically study together to find out how to paint a pig, which include the wild boar and domestic pigs, the cousins. First, let's see how to do a pig. The good news is, if you have mastered the basic skills of Chinese brush painting using brush and ink, you can paint an ink pig very easily. Why? Here's the reason. In Chinese brush painting or calligraphy, both arts are of the same common origin in Chinese art, using the same tools, the brush, ink, and the paper, rice paper. In Chinese brush painting, we have a term when we do critiques, which is ink pig. 墨珠, let me write it down maybe. We use unsized single shuan, which is absorbent paper.
So if you are new to Chinese brush painting, if you recall the first time you paint on rice paper, the very first thing you will notice that it smears, right? If you paint with a fully loaded brush, not a dry brush, it will make an ink pick. Let's see. It was smear, right? You can see the stroke just expands. So you tried to do a dot. It become an ink pick. That's what we call it. 墨珠. Literally, ink pick, which is a special term used in ancient Chinese aesthetics or art history by critics to describe. I think there are two meanings. One is to describe the style of calligraphy or painting, which compared to bony strokes, that style could be more with meat or fat, maybe called fat, instead of the bone stroke. There's a pick style, ink pick style. But in most cases, if this used by a teacher to criticize a student, like if you try to write a dot, it become an ink pick. That's something wrong. It means too much ink, too much water, smear too much, become an ink pick. So ink pick is easy to do. If you make a mistake, just make it into an ink pick. That's how easy it is, right? So today we don't use that term in the negative context. We try to make ink picks. So you want to paint the pick with rounded strokes and lots of water. Just let it smear, let it expand to make ink picks. So that's why I call this lesson is much easier than, say, dogs or dragon. Dragon is an imaginary animal. It's probably the most difficult one in the 12 animals. The pig is the easiest, I would say. Okay, speaking of the 12 animals, I would like to introduce some basic characteristics or personality traits of those who were born in the year of pig, and also to give us some ideas when we paint pigs, what kind of spirit we should try to capture with the pig painting. So there are dark side and bright side of a pig. By the way, I was born in the year of a pig. So this coming year will be my 60th birth year, which in Chinese we call 甲子. 甲子, which means the 6-year cycle. And this system is called 干支. Branch, stem and branch. So let me write the sound maybe. This is 甲子 or 干支. Stem and branch. There are 10 stems and 12 branches in this cycle of 60 years, known as the N-A-R-Y, sexagenary. The sexagenary cycle of 60 terms. You combine two elements from the 10 stems, one from the 12 branches, it will form a 60-year circle. So you only can experience one circle in your lifetime, unless you can live beyond 120 years, right? So 60 years birthday is a big celebration. It's a big year for me, and for those who were born in 1959. If you were born in 1984, 71, or my father is also a pig, born in 1923, 1935, also a pig year, and 1995. And the closest is last one is 2007. So this year would be the 60th birth year for me, this coming year. That's why I'm very excited to paint pigs. Okay, speaking of the personality traits, pig is often depicted as a sign of happiness, right? So when you paint the pig, remember the smiley. The smiley, the snout, they always look like a grin in the pig's face. It's a happy sign of happiness. If you only do the snout, it will be just a smiley, that's a pig already, so it's happy pig. Happy is the first trait. And easygoing, the second one, according to the Chinese zodiology, or zodiac. The other traits are honesty, trusting. I think these are easy to understand. Educated. This might be a little confusing because pig in Chinese language could also mean stupid, right? If you are not smart, people can say you're like a pig. But in Western culture, I learned that in America, pig is considered very smart animal, right? And well educated. So I searched on Google, on YouTube, you can find painting pig, very smart pig who can do paintings like smart elephants also. So educated and sincere and brave. I think pig is very brave, especially the cousin, the boar, the white pig. And tell you the story of a very famous pig. I'll show you in the picture. 10 years ago, in 2008, there was a big earthquake in Sichuan, and 1,000 houses are destroyed and people died. It's very devastating. After 36 days, when people have no hope to find any survivors anymore, they found this pig named Strong Pig, 猪坚强, who has survived without any food and rely on rainwater for 36 days, never give up. So his weight was 150 pounds, dropped to 50 pounds. So after this, after he was rescued, he was excused to be. He was kept in a museum of the earthquake for almost 11 years now. I think over 11 years now. He's still living in good health and now weighs 400 kilos or 800 pounds. So he's a very famous pig in China today. 朱坚强, or the strong pig. So a pig could be very brave and very heroic. So there's another side, the dark side of the pig. We might consider stubborn. It's naive or over-reliant. Of course, pig is a domestic animal, totally rely on. But pig is also very easygoing, easy to get anger, also
to get anger,
and materialized,
or
sometimes considered as lazy.
Sometimes considered as lazy
all the time, right? What else they can do,
right?
Anyway, we will try to paint. To be very fat, right? And very happy,
very
energetic,
happy,
brave,
energetic,
that kind of spirit.
Brave
today.
That kind of spirit.
So I'm going to show you some parts. We already did this snout, right?
We already did this snout. What other
body parts we'd like to
do the
whole pig?
Learn.
I think
the whole pig. I think
the hood. The hoof.
The hood. The hoof.
Like so.
Like.
And very short, with a very short.
With a very short
legs,
but
two-toed in the front.
Two-toed
like that.
In the front.
And
like
one, two small ones. Four-toed.
Two small ones. Four-toed.
Basically, if you look at the footprint,
if you
like this.
Look at the footprint, it will be like this.
That's the feet of the pig.
The feet of the pig.
Of course, the body is a big.
Of course, the body is a big.
Elongated shape.
Elongated
and with a very short.
With a very short legs.
The big head, very
the big
round.
head.
But it could be
but it could be
like this shape, not
like this shape, not totally rounded.
With small eyes.
With the small eyes.
And big. If you look at from
front view,
from side view.
Front view.
There's three circles and four dots.
Three circles and four dots, basically. Could be.
Like a little short tail.
Little short tail.
Or the ear. With the floppy ear.
With the floppy ears.
The ear is like that, or this. Okay.
Okay.
This is just exaggerate.
Exaggerate.
Big ears. What are the characters or features of the body? That's about it. So it's pretty easy.
That's
right?
about it. So it's pretty easy, right?
If you make a mistake, remember just
make it
make it black.
Make it black.
Okay, so how do you like the introduction? Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, are you ready to paint a happy fish with me? I'm going to show you a basic step of outline a fish. You use a little bit ink, dilute with water to get a light tone. And the brush I use is a combination of a stiff and a soft. It's a rabbit combination. You can use any brush. I would use a basic soft brush, or you can even, if you like, you can use the basic wolf hair brush as well. And just get a little very light ink to start with. Don't have to double load in this case. Just load with a very light. So I will draw a, you can use your fingernail to mark the control point. Just one curve on the top to the back and the hip, one big belly. Go. And they should connect, but you don't have to complete if the idea is completed, you know. And you can make it up a little bit, but don't try to change it if something unexpected. You can add a darker ink to correct it, but not using the same ink. So the next, I'm going to add a happy face with a snot, the mouth, and another. Just make it simple. I use a convenient ink cake. So 1, 2, 3. Just dot the. This could be a little lower when I started the forehead. So let me make it up a little bit. Extend that a little bit. Now I draw 2 ears. One in the front, like so, and one. Notice the perspective is behind. Okay, 4 legs, as I mentioned in the introduction, very short legs, right below the belly. 1, 2, and a little stronger with the hand or thighs, but you don't have to do the hand. These are just the parts below the elbow, and then you can dilute the paint, but a little darker to make some marks. One big one here, and just small one. So notice the rhythm: large, medium, small. And finally, you can get some really dark ink to dot the eye. You can use bottled ink or grind ink. The eye is between the mouth and you can just dot very small. It depends on your preference. Could be a little bigger.
Okay, and then I cannot change it, but you can do better without doing like a wire. You know, you can make it more like one tight, one loose, maybe a little better. This one would look like M, but that's okay. The as I mentioned, the ink pick is very easy, but don't try hard. If you try hard, it's worse. It's just making it worse. So take it easy. It's easy going. You know, this hip may be a little too small, but next time I'll make it bigger. But it's okay. You know, it's like the strong pick after the earthquake. It got the weight lost. You know, so you can paint a fat or thin. It's all okay, but just the facial part is pick. That's very important. You can sign anywhere on the corners. I think this side will be good. Maybe write the Chinese year term for the next year is the year of pig. We use 2 characters for each year in the Chinese calendar. That's where you got the symbols. So there are 12 branches and 10 stems. The stem for next year is Ji, and the branch is Hai. Hai stands for pig. And I will write He Sui, New Year's greetings. Maybe too small for you to see. How enlarge it. Okay, and then just my name in print style. And then I'll put a seal under it later. Let me see if you have any comments and questions. If not, I will show you another style. This is outline style, right? The next will be more or less bonus style. Bonus means no outline. Let's do an ink pick using black. This style is after Chiba Shi, Master Chiba Shi. If you're familiar with Chinese painting masters, he is considered the #1 in 20th century. 20th century. Okay. You can start from the snout. Just do a little 2 strokes with 2 dots, a smiley. Let me repeat this. 3 times. Okay. Then I would do the check, right? Check. And then the nose, the snout, the upside. Leave a little space in between for the eyes. you can make little upward keep like that. So you start. You can do it with more than one strokes. It's all okay. And just leave a little space for the eye, and then dot the eye. You can also do this part first, I think. See, I press the brush, and then just like calligraphy, you control the shape. Try to do it in one stroke if you could, but it's okay to repeat. I'm using Japanese rice paper, which is semi-absorbent, so I can paint slower, not the N-size Shuan paper. But still, I have to use quite thirsty brush, so you can take the moisture off from the end of the brush with a paper towel to control the moisture. And then when I dot the eye, I need to make sure the ink is very thick, very dark, and not too much water in the brush, so you will not make a ink pick. You can make a smile with a little squint, kind of. I think it's maybe a little too long, look like a ball or the wild pig. Okay, let me repeat. Are you following me? I hope you are. So I'll repeat this here. Forehead, big head. Dot the eye. Now use the remaining of the brush, the ink in the brush, to do the flappy ears on both sides. But notice the perspective. This is side view. This is more like a front view. Okay. Flap the big ear. Let me repeat this whole thing again. Smiley. Just add a little water. Using side brushes to get fat strokes. Then add. You can use the same ink tone to do the ears. So they're all possible. Make it big and dot the eye. The eye could be very last if you don't change the tone in the brush. Just keep going with the light, so you don't have to go back to your palette all the time. You can do the the leg right now. It bends forward, not backward. So if it bends, just bend forward. It's very short. You can draw a white belly with just adding a little water to the tip of the brush. You can draw that like so, and then add the hem here. Just big hem, and then add a little ink for the rear leg. Okay, now I repeat everything again. Big forehead, rounded jaw, and just use the same ink. Side stroke, hide the tip, and then you can expose a little bit in the end, if you will. That's the head, and you can continue with light tones. So you can do the back first before the belly. This is a curve, but you can make you just use different strokes. See, if you try to fix something, it will show on rice paper. There's a watermark between the strokes. What you do, you can use a darker ink to correct something if you need, and then use the whole side of the brush to do a big tan. And then the forelegs. This ear is not dark enough, so I will add it back. You can overlap with you can add the darker tone. Don't use the same tone to correct. You can use darker tone. This will make it more clear. And just like that. And then this leg too long. What I can do, so just make the toe shorter later. And the rear leg. Don't forget the belly. You can just outline it. You leave some white. I notice the head part is not in the pictures. Let me move it up. Okay, since we have room here, let me do it on this corner and change turn the head into another direction. You can make a snout on this side. right? And then everything goes the other way. I can use my left hand maybe. If you are left-handed, you have the easiness of doing this. And as long as you have a whole picture in your mind before you start, you can use any tool, any part of your body to paint, even fingers, right? And then use dark ink to do a flabby ear. By the way, my father said, if you are born in the year of a pig, your ears can move. See if I can do that. Can you see it? Can you do this? Just some sweet memories of my late father. He passed away 3 years ago. Otherwise, he will celebrate his 96th birthday next year. Okay, now I'm going to do the hip on this side because I have no much room there. So you can change, you can do it the opposite way, from back to the front. So this way, you start from dark, and then it will become lighter and then lighter, right? You can just add water to complete that. So this will be the soft to show distance, the depth, and then the neck. Just a suggestion of that leg there, and you may just do a big belly suggestively. I think that leg should go outside. Anyway, not try to think perspective. Look at the shape of the picture is more important. As long as okay, don't forget to add the little toes, two toes, the two-toed, the four-toed hoof. Okay. And this one too. One larger, just do a little triangle and then one little suggestion of the second toe. And don't forget this little tail that goes like that. Oh, finally I will dot the eye. So you want to wait the pen gets dry a little bit to do the eye. If it overlap with the light ink, so that's another one in Chiba style. We call this bonus. Although there's only one line, you can omit that. You can do everything with the wash instead of outline or contour. But each stroke is counts. You know, it's like calligraphy still, not repeated like you do it on watercolor paper. You can, you know, do wash like this. No, just one very certain strokes, or combine several strokes like this. So every stroke will leave a mark, a watermark between. Let me see how you're doing. Thank you, Sparrow. Thank you, Curtis. Okay, while you are doing your practice, I'm going to play another pre-recorded video showing the picture on the left corner, how I would do this 5-pig painting. Okay.
Happy holidays!
Sorry, that's the first one.
So next, I'm going to paint a boar, which is considered also as the pig family. Let me see. Okay. So this time I'm going to use the mulberry paper with the veins, with the stringing fiber. This is number 2, mulberry number 2 in our store. And
okay, I think I made a mistake again. The bonus style should be this one.
okay, should I do it good? You can do it on this size. Okay, clean the water, clean the brush if you get ink in it. A little bit is fine, and I use a little, you can use a little gray, because when you dilute the ink with water, it's going to bleed more. And if you use a little bit gouache color, you will reduce the bleeding. You can use also like a peach sap, but this will gouache will give a little more body to it. So I use a little yellow, little pink. You know, it could add a little tone, warm gray tone to it. It's a nice gray, and then you can add a little cool gray, just a gray, and with a little ink. Okay. I'll put my sample painting on the side so you can see what I'm doing. Try not to copy it, but okay, just put it here. All right. So the first pig is in the middle of the paper, about 1/3. It's a focus point. So I'll start with the ear, and then the forehead, another ear. You can start from the forehead, maybe, then the ears. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a complete picture in your mind, and you can start from anywhere. And then the neck and the big
back, and then go back for the belly, and then, you know, if not enough, you can repeat back and forth without lifting the brush, so you would not create water marks in between. If you want to separate the strokes, you lift it, and then you will see a water mark between the strokes. This is the characteristic of rice paper. Good rice paper have this. And then I add a little dark to do the thigh, the hand, you might call it. The rear legs. Just one. I try not to do too many legs. On this pig, I only do 2. Okay, just keep it simple. Just like that. And I'll change color for the snout. So I'm going to do another one above it. So this time I'm going to add some water and then just ink without color. Okay, just add more ink. 3 drops more, not too much. Ink is not considered as color in Chinese painting. But this one it's a little too dark to do here, so I would make this pig on the left the darkest because it's closer. The closer to the viewer, the darker it is in Chinese painting. So I would do this pig first here. And neck, body, go outside the frame. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. A lot of students never touch the edge of the painting in my class. I always say, break the edge, break the edge. Okay, one leg there, and one leg. And you see that the ink starts to bleed a little bit. That's good to create this kind of hairy effect. So don't worry. You, like I said in the beginning, just let it bleed. You can, but you paint a little bit smaller than you expect. Maybe just give room to the spreading ink to work. Okay, so next I'm going to add a gray one. So you dilute a little bit with this one will contrast with the first one, and try to hide it. So you don't have to do the whole head. Just hide the head and indicate the pig with a hint of the ear. And this one must have a leg, I think. Now I would do another lighter one. So actually, you could also do this one before this if you leave enough room. It's all possible. So this one could be a little darker than this, right? So each one is a little different. Let me just do a little gray, but less color. This is the center. So this, notice the little, although they look about the same without movement, but there's a perspective and a gesture in it. So this one is more like to communicate, you know, this one look forward, this one look to the right side. Okay, there's a communication. So they're not all the same. Just a little darker for the ear. Okay, and just add a little ink. You can outline the belly if you want. Just indicate the white belly, maybe. do another leg more. So this two pigs share the front legs somehow. And the last one, so I don't do the number 4 because in Chinese it's a taboo. We don't do 4 animals. We just do 5 or 3 instead. Right? Okay, the pig head, and then this. Try to create some dryness with the speed. That's we call it flying white, the dry, to indicate stroke movement. Okay, you can just use, if the color is right, you can just start to draw details like that. You don't have to wait until the last. But I do want to wait a little bit for the eye, so not to bleed too much. Maybe other than that, you can add the mouth right away. Oh, actually, I used a little pink on this sample. You don't have to, but you just do that. When you consider too much elements, you got lost. So I maybe try not to use too much color for this little things, this and that. You can add little wrinkles or folds. Or the hooded, the toaded hoofs. Just two toes. Right? This one is behind, you don't see them. This one clear. Just do one. So try to do as minimum as possible, not too much. Okay, this one is time to dot the eye. You can omit that one. This eye. Double eye. This one. Oh, the tail. I think this leg could be a little longer, or somehow. Let me add another one. This one looks should be here. Just like that. Okay. So that's it's hard to make up. So sumi is like go on a date in the pinch sumi. The more you try harder, the less it will work. So just try not to correct anything. Perspective or details or anything. Okay. Just, if you make a mistake, don't try to change it, to correct it. Now there's a mat made of bamboo. It goes from here to there. You might think it's a calligraphy. Just think it's like calligraphy. You write the pattern in calligraphy strokes. They are eating popcorns. This is we call the lost and found lines. Right? So dense and sparse, lost and found. It creates rhythm, just like music. Don't paint everything complete. Be more suggestive. You don't have to copy, because I cannot really copy myself even. Just concentrate on the painting you're doing. Oh, there's I somehow I missed. Maybe. It's between resemblance and dissemblance. Is realistic or abstract. That's the best. Okay, a little bit suggestion there, and that's it. You can have a little. Okay, now the color for the grains, whatever it is, could be corns or millets or whatever. I'll start with some yellow, orange, yellow, kind of dark. We start from dark. Or you can start just. We would use a large brush and just use several yellows, just like that. But I try not to produce a hairy effect, so better stay away from that. Just make it a little like corns, maybe. Okay. You can then paint wet into wet, very lightly maybe, because the color will fade. Okay. Just wash the mat with the yellow. And leave some white. It's very important. And just identify some as grains, so the yellow clouds become grains. Don't do too much details. Oops. I should leave that margin just black white because it should stay inside there. And just kind of fade off on this side and leave some room for calligraphy, inscription. This painting I used a little paper with the ivory color off-white, so you don't have to wash the whole thing to get the yellow tone. Okay, let it dry, and okay. Don't have to fill in all the blanks, right? Just be very suggestive. Yeah. You can have a little more light ink to harmonize this mat, just to give a little more depth. Could be some scratching, chip like that. Doesn't matter. Okay, and let's wait, let it dry. This could be very light, I think, not too strong. Then I will write the title, 诸事如意, meaning everything goes as you wish. Because in Chinese, the first character 诸 sounds like every in Chinese. It's the same sound, phonetic, different radical it's so I write this in the wrong way, so it means well, it originally it's the everything, so I write it wrong, like to make it pig. So pig 是 oh, I better wait. So just wait a little bit to write. You will smear. You make a ink pig. So this is what we call ink pig, like this, right? But you don't want to make ink pig on the calligraphy. It's okay if it smears on the okay. Oops, it's too dark. So what can I do?
Where's the paper towel?
Yeah, I can use paper towel. Okay, to lighten it, you can first blot it. And then you can use clean water and then blot it again, just several times to reduce you cannot really erase it. It will be there, so just leave it. Don't use white, I think. You never. Just use dry paper towel to reduce. It's okay, I think. Just use some more water. Blotting. If you want to prevent any ink from bleeding, you can always use a paper towel. Dry tissue, the better, without the texture, would be the best. And the paper towel could also be used to paint some texture like that. This is what I should do. Okay, so there's a tail I missed here. Be careful with the ink. Gotta test it. So you want to dry the brush with paper towel before you touch the wet paper, and then you can. I always use dry ink cake. This one tends to bleed less to add on wet. So dry ink, dry brush on wet. Just a little tail. This one tends to make what we call the dark mark, like a panda pig. So you can just make it. We call it 2 ends dark, 2 ends black. So you can make a panda mark if you want. And there's some on the back. You can make some dark spots if you want. Victoria says no more. Okay, just stop anytime you think it's finished. Before you think it's finished is actually the better time to stop. Okay, it's still working, and I'll just stop there. So have fun painting pigs. Happy New Year 2019. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Okay, how do you like the recording? I would like to continue with some small demos of this 写意 or bonus style. Before we go to the next clip on wild boar, so please stay tuned. The next demo I'm going to do is greeting cards. Okay, I would paint on rice paper and then dry mounting it on the card. So this is the plan. So I cut roughly the paper with into the size of this card. I will use both sides of the cover to do one painting, so you can see more clearly, I hope. So I'm going to use this combination brush again, and just do a running pick. You can start from the forehead, just like so, and then the ears, and then a big elongated body. You can use several strokes, one, two or three until you fill the space, and then the thigh, the legs, running like that, and so this one I just keep it cartoony kind of. On the card, you don't have to be very realistic. And then I dry the brush a little bit with load with a little darker ink. If you want dotted eye, you can use dark. I will do the eye of the last. So just use darker gray to draw the snout. That's the lip or the nose. There's the mouth. Very suggestively. And then the tail is a movement, so you need to think about that running movement. The tail should not hang down in the running style, running movement. And then I got some very dark ink, very dark ink. Make sure it's dark. Okay, Now I dot the eye. You can make it bigger. And I'll do the leash. It's a domestic animal, and then this broken or just flying like a belt, you know. And then a little bit darker color, ink on the indicate the hoof. This is a upside down view, like a hoof, suggesting as the hoof. This ear could be on the other side, so I will darken the forehead, just make that a little more clear, right? You don't have to do the background, but if you want, you can suggest that. I would just do some grass. This is the grass, and you know, very suggestively draw some bamboo, maybe, and indicate the wind, the wind movement go with the qi, you know, the dense and the sparse. It's not just group them evenly. Just pay attention on the dense and the sparse. This is the starting point. Is very important. Not in the middle, but on the side. You can have one branch, a little bit color, maybe just a hint of it. It could be red, you know, just symbolically. Red bamboo. It's a very festival kind of. Also, we make a distinction from the body of the pig, right? I turned to overdoing things, so stop me. The thing is finished. Okay, I think it's done. The signature, you can write a New Year's title like I don't have room. I think just a short one. We can just sign on the corner. Right here, you can just find a place. I'll put the year of the pig, because when this video is edited, it will be the year of the pig. The year of a pig. This to dry. You can mount it right away if you will, but better just let it dry. And then I'll do another one maybe. Let me start recording with another camera. I forgot this one. Okay. You put this to dry. Okay, I'm going to do another one, just a half page. So we'll just cut this paper into the size of this card. This is the cover. So when you fold it, it will be as the front. Using the Japanese rice paper. Okay. And this one, I do 2 pigs, sleeping pigs. Just because the brush is in black, so I will start with the black one. Just take advantage of what's in the brush. That's the back of a pig. Now I do the other one. I just add water without adding too much ink. The ear, and then the forehead. Another ear, I just outline it so you can see a little bit space inside. And the face. I don't have to leave room for this one because it's a sleeping pig. And just add water, no ink. Very thirsty brush, add water to get light, wet. Big fat baby. Just make it smear. It will be nice, peaceful. Very. Let me just blur that a little bit. Then add a little bit ink, not too much, to define this snot. And maybe a little bit for the mouth. And not too dark, just darker than the base. Maybe enough ink for this little eye. Just a dash. And then a little hint on the other side. That one is buried in the behind. We don't have to do that. And then you can just write New Year's greeting.
we can make it with a little more life by doing a sparrow, a wake up call, something like that. So I use a little bit umber or burnt sienna I got here. Just dot the let's see the position. Will be this. The head is small, and then just the back. And I use the dark brush again, do the tail, the wings, just very suggestively, a couple of dots, not on the head, and then just the beak, mark on the face. I need a little brush to do this belly in light ink. I'll just wake up a call. So scene. Wake up, wake up. Okay. And I'll just write greeting of the year pig. Yi Hai means the year of pig for 2000 is the stem and branch term for next year, the new year of 2019. He means congratulation or greeting. Sui means new year. 辛亥那己亥贺岁 and then just my Chinese name Li Xiao Hui. Okay, and let me seal it. Sorry for the shaking. I didn't realize the hammer is mounted on this table, so I cannot touch the. Okay, so just a small seal. That completes this simple greeting card design, and I will mount it next on this card. So let me do the first one I did earlier first. This is the silicone paper for dry mounting. I cut it already with the size. You can use a scissor or I use a roller blade to cut it. Okay, just put this film side facing down, and then using an iron. You plug that in. Okay, this step completely dry, no moisture. Okay, dry mounting. It's called method B. You mount the supporting surface, either it's card or watercolor paper. This is a watercolor paper card. Very easy. Okay, let me do another card also same time. this is the card I got years ago. I won a competition with this company, Strathmore, greeting card design. So I have lots of cards from them. And this one I have to cut this in half. Also, I just fold it. I think you can just use this scissors. There we go. It's a little tricky to do this because it might stick on something unexpectedly. It won't really stick until you iron it. It's a heat sensitive, but it's kind of very tender to deal with. So let me iron this on first. It's like laminate the card with a transparent silicone adhesive. Okay. Now let's go back to the first one. It's already cooled, and I can peel this release paper that comes with the silicone film. Do it from the. Oh, it won't. See. The silicone film should stay. Not okay. I think it's not hot enough or something. Let me try one more time. There we go. So you got a silicone film covered on the card. This is the adhesive, and here's the painting. Just place it on. But remember, it's best to spray a little moisture because the painting has a wave, wrinkle when after you paint it. You want to relax it with a little moisture. Then you got this water spray. Not too much, just you will see. But here is very important, the tip. Don't spray on this area where you're going to use as an iron, the iron pad. Spread somewhere else. You can spray outside, just like that. So outside this working area. If you got moisture on the felt, what happens is it will make it, in this case it might be okay, but if you use method A, this paper, this backing paper, this release paper on the back of the film will get wrinkles. That's what happened. I got calls yesterday from artists who had this problem. So if you are watching, you will see why. It's really important to keep anything away from any water away from this area. I can feel some moisture there, but I just try to avoid that. So you want to make sure it's aligned correctly. Once it's on the activated on the card, the silicone will become permanent. So I use this release paper on top of the painting to protect from dust. I just check if any wrinkles.
No, just keep iron until it dries, because if you spray water, it takes longer to dry it. You can iron the painting before you put it on the cart, on the support. That's actually better. You can dry it a little bit before you put the wet painting on this surface, but I don't have much time, so I just do it in one step. Make sure the margin is all set. I can see some waves because the shape of the iron, it may miss some point. Okay, maybe the silicone is not big enough, so the silicone could be larger if you are not going to worry about the exact match, I think. So if the silicone is not big enough, you have little skirt on the margin. It's okay, it's only a card. Basically, it's done. You want, I think you can see that little thing because there's no silicone behind. That's why. You can cut it off, but I'll just leave it. This way people can tell how thin the paper it was, the painting was. Now it's mounted. Yeah. If you want to frame, you don't fold it, but if you want to sand, you have to do that. So this will be a gift for someone if you order stuff from supplies from Blue Heron Arts, you'll get this for free. Okay, just don't forget to select your gift in the card section, thank you card section. You'll get this for free. Let me do another thank you card. So this one I only need to mount on this front. You know, you can trim the painting if you want to match this, but I just keep it like a handmade style, so it doesn't matter if the painting is a little bigger. It's okay. You can still, as long as the painting is flat. Yeah, don't forget to spray. I think this is still wet, so I don't need to spray. Maybe this area a little bit to make it even. Okay, I just sprayed outside the painted area. The painted area is already wet. You don't want to make it smear. It's too wet. Too wet. Too wet. Let me iron this first, maybe, because it's kind of too wet. So I will iron on this side, on this corner, a little bit, dry it a little bit. Sorry, you don't see you don't have to see this, because I want to avoid wet this area. Okay, it's too dry. If you iron too much, you may create wrinkles, because ironing will not make the painting flat. Spray a little more. Just keep it a little moisture. You have to spray a little more. Just the first step is to just flatten the painting, but you know, as you can see, ironing won't help to get rid of the wrinkle. Mounting will. So this would be mounted right now. Okay. I put this release paper back on without the film, right? It's to protect the dirt in the iron. I just simply, you know, because it's so small, you can just simply leave it on for a minute. That's how easy it is. They use a press machine in the mounting shop with this material. Everything, this has been used for decades by the photo industry. Now we use that for sumi. Okay, is that nice? So this is my gift for you. Besides, I would give you a code. If you have not received the newsletter from us for the Cyber Monday or the Black Friday, I would like to extend that code for maybe another week. Is you will get 18% off with orders above 20. This is what this stands for, and it's Blue Heron Arts, BHA. So this code is 18% off orders of 20 at BHA, Blue Heron Arts. I will now it's not activated. After this video, I'm going to extend the valid date through, let's see, today's the 1st. Let's do it through December 7th, okay? So you have second chance. If you used it before, you can order more to get this holiday discount. And you'll get this thank you card in addition to that. If you order more than 200, you'll get free shipping as well for domestic orders. Okay, I put this card aside. Let me see if any questions so far. The film I used is silicone paper for dry mounting. I'll put the link, or maybe I type it. Just search silicone paper on YouTube. You'll see more demos of the usage of this silicone paper. Okay. The next, I'm going to broadcast another recorded video on how to paint wild boar or hog. The next, I'm going to paint a boar, which is considered also as the pig family. Let me see. Okay. So this time I'm going to use the mulberry paper with the veins, with the stringing fiber. This is number 2, mulberry number 2 in our store. And there's a thin one called mulberry 2B. This is 2B, I believe. It's quite thin. You can use 2A as well. The reason I use this is because I can easily create the feather, or what do you call the hair effect, effect with the fiber in the paper. There are two sides. You paint on the smooth side normally, but I will start from the back. You'll see why, because this way the fiber in the paper will be kept white. This is the reason I will use a big.
指头往左一点，
Okay.
从手稍微让开一点，一条全靠这家。
Okay, I'm gonna use a hawk brush. It's a barbecue brush I just got from grocery stores the other day. So let me get some. We just use ink and water to begin with. You use a little bit ink, dilute with lots of water. Okay, to get light, very light ink. And you can touch a little bit dark on the one corner and some bristle in pure ink. Do not blend it. So you got some multiple load, we say it. Just paint some I'll start from the head, the neck. The boar is very strong, so it's like almost like ox, strong as an ox. When the brush is light, I just place where I need the light, you know. So don't reload. Try to finish one section. Just go with the flow of the ink, so you can get the gradation naturally until the brush exhausts. So you got all the texture right. So. And then paint some wet into wet. I will leave some texture white texture. So this part I would paint mostly on the front with the details of the features on the face. So I just leave it. Basically, I want to get the body part more complete with this initial texture. This is on the back side of the paper. Now I work on the front side. And you can see the paper, the vein, you know, the fiber is white. It's showing with this initial shading, I will say. And then I leave some blanks between sections of the body, so you don't paint the whole thing in one block. It's very important. And then I use a smaller brush, a whistle brush or a wolf hair brush with dark ink, and start to draw the details of the face. So the two pointed ears, domestic pig, because this snout is longer than the normal pig, the domestic pig. And there's a tusk, like an elephant tusk. You know. and the eye, small eye, smile, and this side, just omit. Okay, now I use a soft brush. I got some red in it. Okay, I just got some red, so the snout has some red. It's okay. Now I paint while the line is still wet. I do shading, just make it dark. With a split brush, the brush, dry brush, you can just like push it against the paper, and the movement is called pushing. You can get split brush like this. This is to create a split, hairy effect. Okay, and use partial split brush to draw, and you can draw details, not like lines like that. And here's the first hoof split there. There is a nail kind of there, here, and some hair cover. You can do shading a little later. Just add little detail, but not too much. I'll do the rear feet now. This one is like jumping, so we indicated the distance with the detail, more detail in the front, less detail, and less towards the end, the distance, in the distance. I would advise not to do 4 legs, just 3 is enough, sometimes maybe just 2. So you don't have to think where the other leg is. Just add a little dark lines with a split brush. You can do one by one, like detail, but it's much easier just use the split brush technique. Like any brush could be split brush, but sometimes I use old brush. In landscape. Let's see, where is that? Here. You can use a special brush like this. Just a fan brush, maybe like a watercolor fan brush. Can also do this split brush. Dry split brush to add texture. The shading is on the back side. That's foil out the white texture in the paper, so it has all the texture. So this paper is very good for textured stuff like this. And to enhance that, you can wash the background with color or just leave it with white. That's about it. Let me just wash a little more on the face. I want the face to be a little more dark. So the dark part is here, the focus. When I finish, my brush is clean, my ink is empty, my ink and the water is still clean. So this is so I don't really wash my brush. I just do it here. And you can use a paper towel. I didn't have it in hand. Maybe Victoria, can you pass me one with paper towel? Oh, don't forget the tail. Just dry the brush when you need, and just add some water. In one stroke, because it's movement. You want to indicate the movement. I think it's too long. I will probably have to cut it. Just cut the paper off, maybe. That's a little too long. Okay. Well, it could be the illusion of the movement. That's okay. Just add something like this, indicate the speed, the wind. You can add a little footprint. Don't have to go too detailed. Okay, I'm going to sign the left side and the right side, maybe the right side. You can write a title. I think there's a Japanese idiom or phrase I'm going to use I saw it on Google. They use this on the New Year's greeting cards with a pig. With a raining pig. It says Zhu Tu Meng Jing. Meaning to break through like a pig and rush forward for the year of pig. My Chinese name. I'm going to put my seal next to it later. Okay, this is the complete painting. This is the back. The back. You can you can use this side if you like, but since I already signed, I choose this side. I think the white texture really helped to create the texture and the mood of winter. Maybe snow, something, dry grass, that kind of texture.
you can add more ink until it reaches the desired intensity. My nose is getting too dark. I can maybe bring it back a little bit with a little opaque pink color. You can use gouache to bring back. So, you know, if you use opaque color, you can make it light back on Chinese paintings. So there's room to edit. Okay, clean my brush. Okay, and we can also dot the eye with a little darker ink, and could have a little highlight with white if you like, if you missed it. I think it's okay, you don't have to just oh. Okay, sorry. Well, this tusk could be white, ivory color or something like that. You can use a little brown. You use a little. Let's just use a little warm yellow or some kind of. You can put this on the back to enhance that. Just this is on the back, the white. You can also do this without worry about covering the lines of the ink on the front. So the opaque color on the back. This is it will be lighter after it dries to create more drama. A little bit pink in the ear is also nice. Maybe so you can just do it here in the front or again on the back. Just a little bit red. Just a hint of warm. If you do it on the front, it will cover the ink. If you want white covering the ink effect, just do it on the back side, from the back side. Okay, this is my wild boar, and next I'm going to paint the 4 pigs of pignettes, or small baby pigs. Put this inside. Okay. Okay, the next I'm going to work on a card again with mulberry paper number 2, number 2B, which is the thinner one. Number 2 has a stringing fiber in it. That's what the previous video you just saw, the clip with a wild boar. Let me do this with
a card. So you might start with a pencil or charcoal drawing. Just plan your composition a little bit, and especially uh, to save some white, like the tusk. I want to make sure it's the eye. Eye don't have to be white. It's just a brief composition to do some control marks. All right. So next I'm going to use a special liquid called white transparent ink. Transparent ink, not white. When you apply it. But if you later darken the paper, you will show as a white. Let me just use a brush to dip it, so I don't waste it. And I just splat. Let me put this away so I don't. Protect the melt. So okay, first of all, I need to protect the tusk, the white part of that. And let me just chop. Okay, I just dot a little bit snow. And then just splatter. I hope I can get this right. Snow flags. Okay. Flecks of snow. And let it dry. It will become waterproof. It's like a size, I think, but I don't know the ingredients of that. You can use alum for the same effect. Create white. Okay, and you can also draw some like snow icicles, branches or grass, things like that as a background. That will help also. Let it dry. While we're waiting for that, I will do another card. So you start multiple tasks, multiple paintings at one time. This would also save, not only save time, will also prevent you from overdoing something. Don't keep working on one painting so you got bored or overdoing things because of that. Okay, and let me just cut this paper. So we do it a half page just for the time we're waiting for the other painting. All right, this one I don't use any white ink, but I just use, like we saw earlier, the paper texture to create that kind of effect. So the white texture in black. Let me get some liquid ink so it's faster. Basically, you dilute the black to get gray. You don't have to add anything in it. You can add some opaque colors like a mineral blue or something like that. just to increase the body. Let me blend it a little bit. So this is the I got some references here. This is the one I try to do, and I do the opposite way, so I have to hold it against the light on the back first, just some bold strokes, some shading if you like, and then turn the back. So this will make the texture show, right? So the veins will show this way. And then you can draw more details on the front with the tip of the brush. And then add the snout. This is a side view, so I'm not showing the front. And here is the characteristic of the boar or hog, the big teeth, big tooth, tusk. And you can draw the underside with light ink, the white. I don't have much there, that's okay. And just add some dark accent, give the illusion of the details. Lots of detail are already there with the paper. Don't have to do anything. This is the powerful rear leg. And just two legs basically. This is bent front leg, and just a hint of the knee or elbow. Be fine. And just add the foot. This is a little darker. And I will hide the tail with the reeds or grass or anything. And just dilute it. I use a paper towel, dry the brush, and just add water to get light. Don't wash the brush. Just do it in groups of 3, like an orchid. Yeah. You have to wait a little bit to dot the eye. I think that's it. Okay, and you can sign on this corner. Just leave room for the movement. You can also sign on this corner. I think that would be better. I think. I just put the year of a hawk. A short one. Just year and this is how you can date your painting next year. Just head and yes, signature. And I have a seal. I think my head is somewhere here. The stone seal needs a rubber pad. We use rubber seal stamp, you don't need a pad, right? So this is okay. This is it. And let me do this one now. I think it's already dry enough. What I do is I would do the back. Maybe let me do the front first. So this pin here. Start from the snout, and then the forehead, just suggestively, and see if I'm not sure if this water resist liquid called white ink would work. So I just avoid it if I could. You can just paint over it if you. Yeah, I think it would at least make it lighter, if not completely white. So let me dot the eye so I don't lose that. You leave a little white thing to suggest highlights, and then the ear. I'm going to work on the back as much but I cannot see my sketch. Have to just do it within the safe zone first, I think, and then add more. So some texture would show, and I also keep the white for snowflakes. I got the snowflakes too big. You can still paint on it. I hope. So just paint on it. You can outline a little bit and then shading combine. This is a card, so I just try to make it simple. So you can produce a lot without too much time. Original card is very different than prints. I don't make any limit what they call editions, because I can paint very fast. I enjoy that, and you need to practice like this, repeat, 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 so you remember the composition without a reference eventually, and create your own style later. Okay, just keep it simple, I think. The trees and the background. Let me see if the water resist works. So let me just wash on the front so I can see the composition better. Remember the liquid we just applied, and now it's time to use some maybe gray blue kind of sky. I just use some dirty color there. This is opaque. I think an ultramarine should be. I use Hobian's watercolor because I've been studying watercolor recently. It's handy to use. Just got plenty of gray here. And you can use a little amber to mute it. So it's not. Oh, I got some watercolor going here. You know why not? We can mount it, then paint. You can do that. So that's an inspiration. That's a nice color. So I'm going to do this. Combine techniques from West and East. So I mount this card on this watercolor paper cardstock. Okay, let me see. This is the front. Let me see this way. Use an iron. And plug in. Okay. First of all, I need to mount the silicone paper. Somebody asked, what's this magic thing? This film is called silicone. Silicone is the material. It's heat-sensitive silicone film for dry mounting. I call it silicone paper because it comes with a release paper, which can also be used for backing, but you better use a permanent backing, like oops, it is stuck on the back side of this. I mean, if it's larger than the surface you're working, it will stick on the pad. That's okay. Well, you see, this is what happens. When you got moisture, it will create wrinkles. So this area should be completely dry. Okay, completely dry for dry mounting. Because if you got more water, it start to buckle and wave. All kind of problem will arise from water on the surface you're working. So just peel off this release paper. Okay. And it's a film attached to that. It's a little bit bigger, so you can trim it off if you will. I just fold it. It will melt, so it won't be noticed. Maybe put this on. You just put, doesn't matter if it stick on the back. Just let it do that. And my card is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. It's more artistic, I think. Okay, iron it again. This time, you can spray a little water because the painting is still wet. So I just use that moisture is enough. This is so small, so you don't have to use water. Just activate it with a temperature 180 Fahrenheit. It's between silk and wool. I think it's a little higher today. I want it fast. It's almost wool. That's okay, a little bit higher than normal. Okay, you can see some of the water resist become yellow. I think it's maybe the color of the the gelatin or something. Doesn't matter. Let me just wash this background. Oops, too dark. You just basically, I want to show you the effects. I overdid the splatter. You can see too big. You might use a better tool to apply that liquid, the transparent ink. Okay. Yeah, you can do some more on the ground. I just use a mixture of blue and amber to get gray. So this is the snow. Okay. I use my fingers. It's the artist way. Always use your hand. See, this I already applied some color there, so I need to show it by gray the background. Don't overdo it. It's downhill here. And go up. And you can just give a little shading there. It will become icicles. I wish I can do it on the back, but no, I can't because it's already been mounted. I cannot do it. Just some shading there. Okay, this is it. I'll sign here when it dries. So let me finish the other one. You can still add a little bit, just a little bit reflection color on the spotting there. You can add more ink if you need. I can feel the frost on the fur. I mean, yeah. Let's see there. That's great, right? You can use more watercolor if you want. Just like a little warm color here and there. That. Let's see. This needs to be a little. The jar. Oh, there's a little hair, like a beard thing. Lots of texture, that's the idea. You can still paint on the white if you want to eliminate any. So it's like a size the paper is not making, but it's too expensive to use this as a sizing. You can make the solution with the alum and gelatin. You can get the materials from Blue Heron Arts.
Okay. I use my, we have iron here, so why don't we just iron it? I'll just iron this spot so I can sign it. Okay. Oops. Just put the title. Let me see if I have space. Yes. The Japanese New Year's greeting. Zhu Tu Meng Ji, meaning bravely break through and rush forward. I think that's according to the kanji. I don't read Japanese, but we can all read kanji the same. This is the year of the pig for 2019, and my Chinese name. I started to get ink pigs, blurs. Let me iron it. Okay, stop blurring. Okay, I'm going to seal it. Okay, so another gift card is done. If you order today, between today and I just activated this code again, 20 BHA 18, you get 18% off. You can also receive this card later. I put a minimum requirement for purchasing. You can get this for free. Happy New Year. And okay, before I finish, there's another card to mount quickly. So let's do this in the other way, the method A, so you can learn both. Method A is to mount this painting first onto the silicone paper, then transfer to the card or permanent support. Okay, this is method A, which is a little bit more difficult, but not so much difficult. Cut the paper with any tool you want. I use scissors because this is so small. Okay. Okay. Make sure this is dry. No moisture in this area. Definitely. If you have, like a steam the paper, I mean the painting here, you better do it outside this area, somewhere else. I don't need to do that. You can spray the painting and somewhere else. Okay. But since it's so small, you don't need. You can skip the wet part because I have some moisture here in the painting already. But you do need to protect the painting. Let's see what I have. I have this paper. I have to recycle this.
This is a release paper that doesn't have the silicone film. I already released it from the previous project, from this painting, right? So I cover the painting to protect the dirt from the dust from this iron. Now you can start just very gently cover the whole thing first, then from center out, or you can do a circle, whatever you do, just cover the entire card as soon as you can and take a look. If it's okay, keep iron until it's completely dry, because the painting is still damp. I need to make sure it's dry, otherwise it will not stick together. The film will be loose. So about half a minute. Okay. Now you can see it's soft. This way, I can still roll it. I can, if it's a big painting, you can still roll it. But this way, you cannot roll it, right? So you do this right before framing, or actually, before you send the card, you have to do this. This is the card I'm going to put on. So transfer the painting onto the card is as easy as peeling off the release paper. This is the release paper, okay? This is the silicone is now attached to the painting. You can see how nice it is. It's already very nice and flat. It would be nicer if you put this on the card now, like that. This paper goes back on top. The release paper, we just peel it off, goes on top of the. I would put the waxy side, the shiny side, against the painting, so it will not stick on anything. Okay, and then reactivate the silicone film, heat sensitive silicone adhesive film. Very easy. This step, no water. But this paper is got dust, so that you have to cover the painting from there. So this is it. There's a little bit minor wrinkle, but you can iron more, but it's okay. Just leave it not so bad. Because if you use water, it might be smoother, but it takes longer. It doesn't really make much difference in small painting. This part, because the silicone is not big enough to cover that, so you can trim it off with the scissors if you want. You can fold the card and then trim it off. I will just leave it. This shows this is original copy, not a print. People will appreciate more if you just leave some trace for handmade cards. Happy New Year, everybody! Hope you enjoyed this lesson, and send out your pic with your greeting to your loved ones. Okay. This video will be edited into DVDs, and until then, I will leave it on.
so you can learn. And let me. Do you need to? I think yeah. If it will be saved, so you can repeat the missed part if you joined late. So I don't have to repeat the previous clips. Any questions before we end this lesson? We have about 15 minutes for question and answer, or more demo if you like. Again, this is the code you can use to purchase Blue Heron products between now till December 7th. You can get 18% off on $20 minimum purchase with this code 20 capital B H A 20. I'm sorry, 18. 20 BHA 18 is the code. If you missed the Black Friday, this is your makeup time. If you ordered before, you can make another order. We don't do this kind of promotion very often because we are already too busy, overwhelmed by holiday orders. And we also like to thank everybody for your kind support of this channel and my online store, Blue Heron Arts, and online class at ChineseBrushPainting.ning.com. And my Facebook friends, thank you also for your following and comments. Let me check. Thank Shay, thank Mr. Law for your comments on Facebook. Hope you have a great holiday season, everybody. Okay, let me show you the paintings we have done today as a summary. So this is a running pig with a leash, a leashed pig. This is the white boar, a hog, and another cousin of the pig family. I think of the white hog again. And this, the domestic baby piglet with a sparrow awakening up. The New Year's greeting is rushing forward. Okay. We also did some demo earlier, showing you how to do the outlined fish. You can maybe color the face. It would be nice. This needs a little rouge. I need to put a seal on this. I will put these paintings and the cards as a thank you gift on Blue Heron Arts after this, so you can get it for free as a New Year's gift from thank you card from us. This is another demo with steps of how to do this 写意 or bonus spontaneous style.
with direct washes. Okay. Let me show you the other sample painting. This one I did in the previous announcement video. So far I think first is always the best. It's my favorite. It says everything goes your way or as you wish. My birth year is coming, Henry Lee. And I did a copy behind me. You can see on the here a copy of that small painting. And this one you also just watch the process, the running hawk and 5 pigs. So you can join my class and let me see if anybody are watching there at Chinese brush painting.ning.com. See if any comments there. Yeah, we got comments. I hope we can see some works. Guys, are you doing some paintings there today? I'll give you grading, scores and comments if you post them in the classroom. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Pamela. Thank you, everybody. From France, Francisco Luis. From Spain, Mar. And yeah, we have a worldwide audience today. I'm very happy. Thank everybody from everywhere in the world to join this. Okay, time is up. I'm going to call off now. This video will be saved in about half an hour maybe on YouTube, so you can still watch it if you missed any. Thanks, Sparrow from Texas. I got a sparrow painting for you. You just okay. Goodbye, everybody. Happy New Year, happy Christmas, and happy holidays.